Uric Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Uric Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
Greetings, it is the Tonic Man once again. Here we are. Thank you very much for being on the call. This is a time of crisis and a time of need and a time of hope and a time of everyone helping everyone. And we're doing our little part. We've made a very, very special offer for all of you on the call and anybody that you speak to. We have a very special price on the tonic to help out. A lot of people are boosting their doses. They've been rereading what Doc Mowry said about how this really boosts the immune system. And I guess it really does, because there are many, many people over the years, and I mean over the years. My father started to commercialize this preparation, as he called it, in 1943, so that is a lot of years. And of course, people have been reporting the most amazing changes to their life and their health. We've virtually saved lives with this preparation. And as the disclaimer said, this is not a cure for anything. It doesn't affect any particular kind of health issue. What it affects is your body in general. That's why we call it the whole body tonic, because it touches every part of the body. And folks, you may or may not realize it, and maybe it's just that we never talk about it, but the body is everything's interdependent. Everything functions in relation to other parts of the body. I mean, that old song about the hip bone connected to the thigh bone, that's for real when it comes to your body. So when one system or one gland or one organ or one something starts to go out of whack, well, if it's not a major part of the body, you feel a little out of sorts, but that's about it. If it's a major part, then you have serious health complications. So what the tonic does is simply, as we've told you for year after year after year, it regenerates the body. It brings it back into balance. And if you read what Dr. Mowry says on our website, there is a section there where he says there are 10 points that are necessary for any product to be able to say it does if it wants to call itself a whole body tonic. And he said, boy, you're talking about batting 1,000. The JC Tonic is a whole body tonic. Familiarize yourself with those 10 points and share them with other people, because they are so common sense and they are so easy to understand and so obvious that we don't really look at it every day that way. So if you have all of those 10 points under control in your body, or your pet's body, or any animal, or anything that has blood in it, doesn't matter. If it has blood in it, this will work. And so we've had these really, really outstanding stories, and tonight we have a couple of super-duper guests. The first guest we have is a fellow that I met, I think, about 17 years ago. And he came into the home office in Las Vegas at the time. I happened to be in town, and I was there, and he said, I want to talk to that guy who's supposed to look 20 years younger. And when I met him, he was stupefied. He couldn't believe that I really did look, well, I don't know if I was 20 years younger, but I looked an awful lot younger than my 65 years of age. Just as I look younger today, and just as people who have been on the tonic for 10, 20, 30 years look younger. Just as he looks younger. As a matter of fact, he's going to tell his story, and when you hear it, you better put your seatbelt on, because he was not in very, very good shape until he started drinking the JC. So I don't want to take any more time. I just want to make sure that I let you know before this call is over that next week we're having Dr. Scott Whitaker as our guest speaker, and our pal Betty has just spoken to him, and he said he would be honored to be on our call. So that's going to be a really great call as well. So mark it down for next week. We'll announce it in our regular email blast. And folks, you know, we have the coronavirus, and we have challenges, and we have a lot of people who have a lot of family and friends who are not having a good time of it. On the other other side of the coin. We have to make the best of it. We have to continue, and we have to get ourselves out of it. And America does that best. It's the greatest come-from-behind kid known to the world, and it's come from behind many, many, many times. Look at the wars, look at all kinds of things. So I have no doubt that it's a come-from-behind. You see what the people are doing, what people are doing in the streets, in their communities, how they're helping. I mean, it's just amazing what people are doing to help out. It's so great to see. So do your little part, do your big part, do whatever you can, and we're going to do the same. And we'll carry on with this special price as long as our inventory can stand it. I don't want to run out until our new production arrives beginning of May, but look, we'll do the best we can, okay? So here we are, and let me first introduce my old pal, 17-year-old pal. Well, let me tell you, his name is Mr. Cecil Cotton. Mr. Cecil Cotton, are you there?
I've known Anthony, 17 years. If you were on the call last week when Carrie Jo was on it and her husband, Esther's been on this stuff, like Anthony said, 29, 30 years. And she's the one that got me on it 17 years ago. And when she told me about this, I was in bad shape for 10 years. I've had 2 back surgeries, hip replacement, arthritis in my back, and I was only 34 to 44. When she told me what all this would do, I kicked her out of my restaurant. I told her that's the craziest story I've ever heard. I love you to death, Esther, but don't ever bring that bottle back in my restaurant. My daddy told me that's snake oil. That don't work. Well, another lady I ran into told me the same story, and another lady that doesn't lie, which they didn't lie either. Her name was Joyce Bucko, and she was 70 at the time. She said, what do you got to lose in one bottle? I went to a witch doctor. I went to acupuncture. You know, when you're sick and you can't get a cure and you got depression because you can't sleep, you hurt all the time. I tell everybody, if you saw Mike Ditka walk, which is the football player, that's how I walked, and I was only 34 to 44. So she said, what does one bottle hurt? And I said, well, I'm looking for some, but it's hard to me to believe this. But she told me she had arthritis in her knees, she had high blood pressure, and all of them had cholesterol, diabetes. They had it all, and it's gone within 8-9 months. They're barely taking any medication, so I did jump on it, and I drank it for a week. And my best friend, Jim, he's got health problems too, so I was the guinea pig. So I guinea pigged, and after a week, he said, well, how do you feel? And I said, well, I don't know if this is mental or physical, but I do feel different, but let's go another week. Well, after 2 weeks, I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm working all day long. Don't hurt, sleep better, everything's better. Back pain. So after I drink this stuff for about 6 months during Christmas time, I get a call from some idiot, and he told me who he was. His name was Anthony Urick. And I didn't know who he was. I said, okay. He said, I'm the tonic man, which I still don't know what he's talking about. I've been drinking it 6 months. And I said, you want to book a Christmas party? And he said, no, I'm the juice man. I said, juice man? What the hell are you talking about? The tonic you're drinking. I went, Lord have mercy. Because I have a restaurant, and there's 400 to 800 people in a day. Well, I'm talking. When I talk, everybody hears me. And for Esther and Jim Cave's a restaurant, he got on, did the same thing to him. We're selling these bottles like you can't believe. So, I told him, man, you saved my life. And he did, because I don't know how much longer I could have stayed sane in my own mind to keep going. But I told him, I said, where do you live, man? He said, well, I live in Florida, but I'm in Vegas with the company. So he said, well, I'm going to be here. So we met at Valley Steakhouse. I took my nephew with me. Tom, he's 27. His wife was constipated since she was 16, and she's 27. She drank this stuff for 3 days. She wasn't constipated no more. First phone call she gave was to her mother. I was the second call. She was crying. She said, I can't believe this. This doesn't happen. Well, he told the story. We met at the steakhouse, and my nephew looked at Anthony, and he had a head of hair like an 18-year-old kid, complexion like I cannot tell you. And I knew it worked, but, when you see this guy, my nephew said, how old are you, Anthony? He said, at the time, he said he's 69. I went, oh, Lord. He said, man, you look 52. Now, as they tell you, doctors, I told Anthony this, but he ain't heard this. If you floss your teeth, you're going to live an extra 8 years is what they always said. Now, I don't know if you people have heard this, but I've heard it plenty. Now, the oxidation on the blood, I'm the one that told Anthony 3.5 years ago. I went to Mexico to see a blood doctor because there's other things you can do for your body that I had other problems with, which, Anthony, this juice is just amazing. But if you put something else with it, I told him it makes a Molotov cocktail even better. So I went down there, and she takes a pint of your blood out, and she runs it through a UV light and puts it up there and puts oxygen with it. But when she took my blood out, she said, Cecil, you talk about this juice. How long you been on it? I said, 13 years. She goes, this stuff really works. And I said, well, how do you come to that conclusion? You ain't drinking. She said, look at your blood in that pint. It's bright red. As any doctor you talk to, you go to the blood bank, give a pint of blood, take a picture of it. Yours is going to be black or gray or maroon black. She said, nobody has that color blood except a baby that's born. It's like pure. When a baby's born, it's like me. Now, she flipped out. This is where the oxidation comes in. This is what put me into overdrive. Like the lady last week said, I think it was Betty, whoever, you tell everybody. I tell everybody. I even challenge the doctors, and they stay away from me because they know I'm coming after. Because they're giving you too much medicine. You take this stuff, diabetes, like he said, a whole body tonic makes everything work. I mean, I cannot tell you how great shape I am. Now, I have another problem that's arose with my body, and it's nothing detrimental to anybody, but what I have has grown a little. So I was drinking 2 ounces a day, and that doctor told me, we need to take a culture. Both my brothers had this, and we see if you got cancer or not. So I said, well, first of all, I'm going to wait 3 months before I do it. I'm going to call Anthony. Anthony's my guru. I told Anthony, you saved my life. I told him this 16 years ago, 17. I said, I'll tell everybody till I get tired of telling people. I will be your spokesman. A doctor did not help. None of them did. Nobody gave me my life except Anthony. And I thank Esther I hug her every time I see her now. She saved my life too. So, I told him, I will tell everybody. And I don't know if Rick is on. He's supposed to be, but he's my last new patient. He's got a lot to tell you. He's 62 years old. When I get tired of telling people this, I will tell you. And I'm still telling people at 17 years, I'm telling more and more. People don't even get around me because I'm going to tell them, but that's okay. Nothing better than having a better life. Hell, my neighbor over here, I showed him the big deal about Robert Davison. Shoot, he's going to call Anthony Monday. I've been telling him to get on. Well, I got the proof, and I do have the proof, I told Rick, I said, there's a thing called the fountain of youth. I've heard it all my life, all through the ages. I said, here it is. This is the fountain of youth. You will feel 25 again. Rick got on it, and he called me in about 10 or 12 days. He said, oh, my God, I feel good. Just like you said, you didn't lie. I feel young again. When people see me like like Anthony said, you're going to look younger. You're going to feel better. Hell, my complexion. People, take pictures. When you take a picture of yourself and you look at it, you want to scream. When you look in the mirror, you kind of say, I look all right, But, man, people tell me, man, you ain't changed a bit. You look the same. Well, that's all I can tell you. I got so many stories I could tell y'all. You would not believe me. And whatever Anthony says and these people say is all true. You still there, Anthony?
I just reached Rick. He's getting on the line, Cecil, so you and he can have a little hoedown.
You come to Dallas, you give my number, we'll go out and eat, and I'll tell you everything. Hey, is Rick on the phone?
Yeah. Well, so our pal Rick is now on the line. Why don't you and him have a little go at it? And by the way, your phone, something's wrong with it. It cuts in and out. See if you can do something with that.
Well, let me tell you what I do to my customers. And when I tell them, if it's a man or woman, if it's a man, I said, don't give this to your wife, whatever you do. If it's the woman, I said, don't give it to your husband. They said, well, why? Make them mean or bitchy? I said, no, you want to outlive them. You get everything. You get divorced, you get everything free.
Hey, Rick, come on down.
What's going on?
There, Rick Cruz, folks, Cecil's old pal, lifetime pal, who Cecil just got drinking the tonic.
I want to thank you, the gentleman himself, his dad, for inventing. I mean, this is a total miracle. Total.
How big of a miracle has it been for you, Rick?
Well, I tell you what, I've started giving it to my wife. I gave a bottle to my dad. I gave one to my mother-in-law, and they're both noticing a difference also. But for me, it's made me so energetic. I own my own business, so I have to be on the move all the time, and I've caught myself just going downhill. I mean, I never I haven't felt this good in over 25 years. Really haven't. I've lost weight because I have to move. I've lost close to 30 pounds just because I'm moving so much more throughout the day. I used to have trouble getting up in the morning. I mean, I want to stay in bed. I mean, I wake up just as energetic like I've been up for an hour. I mean, it is simply amazing. I just wish everybody out there, I could tell all my friends, and that's what I'm starting to do. I ordered some just to start giving it to my friends, just a bottle, just so they would try, because words can only say so much.
I think that's what Cecil did to you. He gave you a bottle, right?
He told me about it. He gave me your number. I got it, and the rest is history. It is just totally incredible. I'm excited about this. I want to tell as many people as I can, because this is, like I said, this is totally amazing.
Well, that is the story that we've been living for all these years, and that's how it all worked, and it's telling other people and pay it forward and share the good fortune that you have and that Cecil has. Cecil is like a veritable Johnny Appleseed. He's been telling everybody ever since the first day he started, and he's literally helped save lives all along the way. So, Rick, we need you to continue that and do it as best you can, as often as you can. And that story of just living better, having a better quality of life, sometimes is all it takes for a person to really have a new life, you know?
Yes, I've already started, and I want to continue on this life's path, that's for sure.
So any major health issues that we're looking to help?
Well, I have high blood pressure. My doctor just told me I had to lose some weight, and I've practically lost everything that he told me to lose, and it's only been a month, so that's how fast this is. But it's like I'm telling you, it's a nonstop tonic. It makes me feel so much younger, more than anything, and it makes me feel so much better.
Well, I appreciate you coming to the call and telling us, and we'll have you back when you get all the rest of your family who have health issues, getting them turned around. And Cecil, yep. I appreciate really that you came, and there are so many people that are in bad shape, and they have to know that this works, so I thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that doctor, what I got, he said it won't go down, okay? He said, the older you get, this grows a little bit, and he said it won't go down. So that's when I told Anthony, I said, I'm going to get up to 5 ounces a day, maybe 6. He said, nothing will work to make this go down in size. So, I'm going to go probably now in May, since all this is broke out, the doctors probably won't see you and all that. So I'm going to go in May, get on 6 ounces. So whatever I have, I will tell you later, and I guarantee you, I'm going to tell that doctor, I'm going to show that it's going to go down. I'm going to prove them wrong. I prove those doctors wrong all the time. And when they see me, they go the other direction, because I got more video now with Robert, and y'all need to listen to that story. Okay, I'm sorry I took your time.
No, that story that Carrie Jo and Robert was on last week, and they were on, I mean, he's a walking miracle.
Well, yes. I told Anthony we got to get a group together, and I told him that Robert, he'd be your poster child.
Well, he had so many things wrong that if he was to stand up in a crowd of people, he'd probably cover everything they all suffer of. I mean, what's he got? 20 different health issues, major ones.
Least. Well, Anthony's always told me you're 2 people away from somebody. Well, I'm 2 people away from Donald Trump. The reason to get to Donald Trump is get to the VA and take Robert, take me, and 3 or 4 others, and we need an hour and a half with this guy. Then we could get in the VAs. What we could do, his name is Gerald Flores. He was on the talk show.
Yeah.
And at the old folks, you want to find the sick people. I said, I'll go to the old folks home. And when I talked to them, I said, you know what the next stop is? And they're sick and dying now. Well, in 8 months, I got Gerald out of the old folks home. The nurses cornered me before he got out. And they said, what are you doing? And so I came to see Gerald. And they go, no. What are you doing here? And they said, no. You know where we're going with this. He said he was a dead man. He was the worst guy that ever walked in here when they brought him. He was black and purple all over, sweating and breathing hard. I just happened to be there in Corpus. I live in Dallas when they took him. I just happened to be doing a cater down there, and I went to go see him. Anthony has always told me, take pictures. Well, I didn't take a picture of him. He was in his shorts, black and purple, because his body shut down. Reason I didn't tell him, because he worked for me 26 years. I love that man. I didn't take a picture because I knew he was going to die. That's how bad he was. Well, 8 months later, I got him out. Same thing with Esther. She gets Robert out of the old folks' home, too, you know. Okay, I'm done.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Hey, I could go on all night with you people, man. I could go all night. Just drinking, tell everybody. That's all I can do.
Well, Cecil, you have no idea how many people you've helped. God is smiling on you, and we're going to carry on and keep saving lives. My old dad started at, 1943? We've been going ever since. We have saved tens of thousands of lives over the years, that is for sure. And Rick, you're the new kid on the block, so let's get the word out.
Yes, definitely. Cecil's your number one cheerleader, but I'm going to be a close second.
Okay.
My ex-wife, Anthony, my ex-wife did tell me something. She always said, someday people are going to listen to you. And I told her, well, I'm in a restaurant, man. They listen to me anyway. They know I'm crazy. But she goes, no, you're going to do something and people are going to listen to you. She always told me this. Well, here it is. I thought it'd be something with the restaurant, not with my body.
Well, Cecil, we'll get that crowd together in Dallas or in Corpus or wherever you want, and when you're up there, they're going to listen to you, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
We're going to listen to all of us.
Well, guys, I really, really appreciate both of you taking the time and being on the call, and I'm sure it'll be a big help to a lot of people, all our callers, of course. And, of course, we email this out at the first of the week, so I will talk to you again. We will have an update for absolutely certain with you, Rick. And Cecil has an update every day when I talk to him because he's always got a new story and a new person that he saved their life and got them going on it.
Tell you what, I'm in that category too, because if he wouldn't have made the call and told me about it, I definitely wouldn't have ever tried it because I'm a skeptic. I don't know. I don't trust anyone. And then once he told me, I said, I got to try it. Sure enough, thank God that I did because
I thank God you listened.
Yeah, that's true too. But
oh boy.
But man, I love you all because y'all are just, like I said, you opened up my eyes and my health because like I said, I thought I was going down. I'm going to be 62, and I said, man, I guess this is the way I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And what the juice has done to me in the last month. Oh,
well, I can tell you something about Rick. Rick looks like Don Juan, man. He's like, look, watch this guy, man. He'll be in the pageants again, man.
We better cut him off because he'll get 20 years, looking 20 years younger.
I know it.
Let's go.
I'm starting right now. Let's go.
Hey, Anthony, you got to give him some of that lotion. He's got to buy some of that lotion.
Okay, we got him on that one too.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, Robert, Carrie Jo's husband, is supposed to be going back to see the neurologist who told him, who arranged for him to get a wheelchair and a helper and said he's never going to turn around, and he was bordering on Alzheimer's or starting Alzheimer's, and now he's going back for a 3-month checkup. The fellow never spoke to Robert because Robert could not speak. He could not make words come out. So the doctor has never spoken to him, and when Robert goes back in, the guy might have a heart attack.
Yeah, have him call Anthony, me, and Rick, and we'll have a conference.
Oh, we should get the doctor a bottle of tonic before Robert goes back.
Yeah, I'll provide it. That's not a problem.
Well, guys, that's really great, and I'm glad you're both younger and happier and have told all these people. And folks listening on the call, as you see, we could go on. Cecil has tons of stories. Rick has tons of stories, too. He's got all his family starting on it with all kinds of different health issues, so we'll get an update from him pretty darn soon. But this is what you have to do, everybody. You have to do what they do, what we do, what everybody does. Talk to anybody and everybody, and sure, some of them are going to tell you you're crazy. They told Cecil he's crazy. They still tell me I'm crazy. Doesn't matter. What if you get 20% that thinks that you're not crazy? That's all it takes. What if it's only 10%? 1 out of every 10 people you speak to who says, yeah, I'm going to try it. You will have stories coming from that person like we're hearing tonight, and that, like we've heard from thousands and thousands of people. So pay it forward and stay safe during this crisis. Drink more tonic because it builds the immune system. And all the experts, every day, they say if you have a strong immune system, you have a far better chance of either not getting it or withstanding it or getting better more quickly. And that's just common sense. The whole deal is in your immune system when it comes to infections. So if you cut your finger and it festers for 6 weeks, you have a lousy immune system. If it heals in 3 days, you got a good immune system. Simple as that. I don't want you to go and cutting yourself, but next time in the kitchen when you're cooking your dinner, if you cut your finger, remember what I said. So everybody have a great rest of the evening. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And don't forget, our guests need a cheer. Hoorah! Let's go, guys. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget, everybody, next Sunday, Dr. Scott Whitaker. Come on down. Bring all your friends, and he's going to talk about some really interesting stuff. All right? So as we say around here, take an ounce and feel the pound. See you next week. All right. Thanks,
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Night.